Hello YouTubers, welcome to Frugal Coder's channel. Today I want to talk about this Asus Zephyrus G14 laptop. I just bought it from Best Buy with a $250 discount. It's pretty good. It's been the biggest discount I've seen for the past nearly a year. When this laptop first came on sale on Best Buy, I was having a very big interest on it. I think this is the laptop that's hitting a very good performance to size ratio on the laptop. So if you think about it, today on the premium laptop category, the manufacturers either go to the ultra portable end or the ultra performant end. By getting device to be ultra portable, they kind of have to cut on the performance by a lot. Even the same high-end processor, they have to limit the power consumption of it, and as a result, the performance will suffer a lot. Or they will go for the ultra performance side. They will pack a lot of performance into it. On the contrary, the device will suffer a lot on portability, especially on the weight and the battery. Because in order to optimize for the best performance, you have to consider venting, you have to consider the air circulation, air flows. You have to make those very big sized air duct so that the laptop could be cooled very efficiently. But I think this laptop hits somewhere in the middle. It doesn't sacrifice too much on the performance side, while it still keeps the ultra portability in mind. So the device has only a mere weight of 3.6 pounds as a 14-inch device. I think that's kind of still falls into the ultra portable category of the device. When I was comparing it to my old Macbook Pro 13-inch, I feel both of them are kind of very comparable to each other. And at the same time, this device still packs a lot of performance in it. It has a Ryzen 9 4900HS processor in it, a GeForce RTX 2060 Max-Q design. I acknowledge that it's not the best performance you could buy with the money, but I think the performance is decent. I'm not a gamer, so I don't care that much about the pure high FPS. On the contrary, I care a lot on the portability. So I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit peak performance in order to get a device with better portability. Alright, I think I digressed a little bit about this device. This device has been reviewed by a lot of YouTube reviewers. The reviews today are just everywhere. And I think I agree with a lot of those praises about this laptop. It has a very decent build quality. I personally comes from a ThinkPad and MacBook. I think the build quality on this Zephyrus G14 is definitely on par with those other two candidates. The metal on this device is not that cold compared to MacBook Pro. So every time I put my MacBook Pro on lap, touching my skin, I feel, oh my god, it's so cold. But I don't have that feeling on this device. So the keyboard, I also have very good key travel, but the response feels still slightly on the softer side. It's not as good as the ThinkPad keyboard, but I think it's quite acceptable. Okay, what else? Oh, this device, I could open it with one hand, so that's a big plus for me. Okay, let's talk about some of the bad things about this laptop, or I wouldn't call those bad things. I would call it like the kind of trade-off you should be aware, or some gotchas you need to know before you make a purchase. So number one is the keyboard's backlight. The keyboard's backlight on this device is a little bit weird. It's very hard to see the backlight when the surrounding environment is well lit. So it just feels like there is this kind of dark spot on the center of each key that is not well lit by the keyboard itself's backlight. But this is not a issue when the surrounding light is dark. You can see it from the video about the difference. The keyboard on this device also sometimes give the same letter signal twice when I type very fast. So let's say youtube.com. If I hit the last M character very hard, it will end up typing 2 M's instead of 1 M. This is a little bit annoying. I think it's mostly because I type the key very hard, so it sends the false signal to the computer. I'm trying to improve a little bit, and this definitely improves a little bit after I realize this is the problem and I need to use less force to press the key. No swappable control and function key. So the control key on this laptop is on the bottom left corner. I think this is a good design from a gaming laptop's perspective, but as someone coming from ThinkPad and MacBook, the function key, the FN key, is on the bottom left corner. So Lenovo offered this option in BIOS to swap the FN and the control keys for users who want to do them. But unfortunately, ASUS doesn't offer that option. I searched the BIOS as well as the ASUS software that comes with the laptop, but I didn't find any option. No page up, page down, home, end, and delete keys. As a computer programmer, I feel those keys are essentials to keep my productivity high. I use them a lot in navigating across the code. If you are a computer programmer, you probably know what I'm talking about, or even you use the laptop to do a lot of document processing and a lot of typing. Those keys are very efficient in quick navigation, but all of those keys are missing on this laptop. The trackpad is very small compared to MacBook or even the ThinkPad. It's very hard to do multi-gestures on it, and my hand sometimes reach outside. After around a week of use, I think I'm kind of better at working with this trackpad, but yeah, the experience is definitely not as good as MacBook or ThinkPad. Also, the feedback on the trackpad is not as good as well. I have to press very hard in order to make it click. Most of the time, I just use a mouse to get all of those pointing tasks done. The screen on this laptop is kind of washed out. I know it's been marked as 100% sRGB, but I feel it's still not the same level as my desktop monitor, also a 100% sRGB. The color on this laptop is just kind of not as bright and showing that much detail compared to my other monitors, not to mention the DCI P3 wide gamut. So I would be a little bit cautious if using this laptop to do photo editing. It might be okay to do video editing because generally video editing, at least for my use case, doesn't require that high color accuracy. But yeah, something to keep in mind. For me, if I were to do some photo editing or video editing, I'll just plug in a external monitor. If I were to bring this laptop on the go and do some photo edit, I guess I'll just take what it is. I'll probably do another review about video and photo editing on this laptop's screen compared to on a external monitor's screen and see how they compare with each other and let you guys see. So there is also a couple of other things you should be aware about this laptop. It has no webcam. I think this is not a deal breaker for me. After all, nowadays there is a lot of other devices that carries a webcam with it. The phones, the tablets, all of them have a webcam. If you do need to do video conferencing, you can just use those devices. Plus, I think it offers a slightly advantage because you don't need to concern about, you know, spywares hacking your webcam and get all your sensitive videos. The hinge on this laptop is designed to lift the body slightly up for better ventilation. It's not a big deal for me, but if you do care about that, keep that in mind as well. The battery life on this device is okay. It has a Ryzen HS series CPU, which I assume is being power optimized compared to their Edge counterparts. I also hear that ASUS is the only manufacturer that work with AMD to productize those HS brand CPUs. I think this laptop is the only laptop on market that carries a HS marked Ryzen CPU. So this is probably the reason. I'm pretty satisfied on the battery life. It gives me around 5 to 6 hours for light to medium-ish workload on the go without any graphic intensive tasks. So overall, I think this is a very impressive device. I think it's optimized for portability and gaming. There's a couple of caveats if you want to get it for video processing or coding. But I think those caveats are something I could get used to or work around. So I think this is still a very impressive device to get, given its build quality, the price, and the size. So I wish in year 2021, more and more computer manufacturers could follow up in this trend to build this kind of devices that gives a perfect balance between performance and portability. I think the high-end laptop market has been dominated too long by Intel, and it's time for AMD to fight back and give us customers some surprise and real benefit. So that's all for today's video. That's all my thoughts on those Zephyrus G14. If you want to know more, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to make a subsequent video to talk about. If you think this video is helpful, click the thumbs up button below. Subscribe to my channel to receive the latest update, and see you guys next time.